The possibility of LIC picking up a majority stake in IDBi is not going down well with former executives of the Reserve Bank of India. Speaking to cnbc TV 18's Latha Venkatesh, many of them have expressed concerns over the issue of conflict of interest due to LIC's stake in several banks. They also said that the RBI should worry about the impact of this deal on financial stability of the system. Let's go across to Latha now for more on these concerns. Latha, what are the specific concerns that RBI veterans are raising with respect to this proposed deal between LIC and IDBi Bank?
Yes, I did speak to a number of ex-RBI veterans of the highest possible levels, and they were a little apprehensive about the manner in which the LIC IDBi deal is going. One of the problems, of course, which everyone mentions is a conflict of interest problem. If LIC were to indeed run IDBi as its bank instead of just warehousing the shares, then what about LIC's position of having board directors in the boards of several other banks? I mean, as a competitor, you will be in on their secrets, and therefore it would be unfair to those banks. The second problem which these RBI former honchos said is a question of financial stability. Reserve Bank is the keeper of financial stability of the entire system. And what it would like is that if there are problems in one bank, then the shareholder, which is the government, should bring in more capital. If the shareholder is a private shareholder, he should bring in more equity. But when LIC owns it, there is no further equity coming into the system. So as a keeper of financial stability in the system, the Reserve Bank ought to be worried, because the total amount of equity to balance the debt, good and bad debt, would be inadequate. That's a second worry. And a third, of course, is would it become a private bank if LIC owns 51% and not the government? Now, there is no clarity on this. When IDBi owned IDBi Bank ran as a private sector bank. If you remember, Gunit Chadha was the CEO. But now the government has to ensure that it is run that way. Just because LIC buys it, it may not be run as a private sector bank. It could be that government will continue to make the appointments and continue to intervene like any other public sector bank, in which case even the advantage of running it like a private sector bank will not be there. So overall, actually, serious concerns about this deal from the ex-RBI honchos.
All right, Latha, concerns being raised by former RBI bankers with respect to the proposed IDBi LIC